Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of A Lot of You Have Been Asking. I am so excited for today's guest because a lot of you have been asking me about my wedding, and she is the brains behind the operation. Kate Murtaugh is here. How are you, Kate?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on the pod.
I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited to chat with you. I'm so excited for our wedding.
I know.
It's coming up. It's now
less than a year.
Less than a year away. Don't remind me. But I'm really excited. I know that you are the founder, the creative director of Kate Murtaugh Events and Design. Mm-hmm. You have such a resume behind you, but I need to know, like, how did you first get into event planning? Because
it's a good question.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly starts back like when I was in high school working like summer jobs. I grew up in a small New England town that was very much driven by like the summer economy and having a lot of people come in during the summer with summer residents. And I worked at a country club and helped with their events and their weddings on site just as a server.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And I also think everyone should have the opportunity to work in a restaurant. I think 100%. It teaches you so much. And from there, I went on to college and did have a degree in business and marketing. But all of my internships were in event planning.
Okay.
So I just really loved I'm a very creative person. I'm a very visual person, but I'm not someone that is traditionally creative with like a pen and a paper or a paintbrush. I like to use my hands and conceptually see something come to life in a larger scale, like an event. So it was always something that I was really drawn to, but I started off doing events in higher education.
Okay.
And with corporations and internships. And then that led me down a road after graduation through PR and social media management, and then I started doing events on more PR scale.
Okay.
And then worked for a high-profile music festival and really loved working in the entertainment industry. But then when I was starting to figure out my life plans and wanting to see like what I wanted to do and how I wanted to kind of evolve as a person personally and professionally, I always knew I wanted to do something entrepreneurial, and I grew up in a very entrepreneurial family. And so, but also wanted to have a family. So,
have that balance.
Yeah. And I started to plan my own wedding, and I was like, I love events and I love this. So why not combine the two? And, so we're almost at our 10th year in business.
That's
and
crazy.
I always like to say I was my first client, but yeah, that was really kind of the impetus was to get really going, and that was when I started my own wedding.
Yeah.
And so
seems like it was like a natural projection, and everything that you did beforehand kind of like lend itself to the business in some way.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that event planning on the corporate side or within education, nonprofit, it's very different, but obviously has so many things that align with private and social events. But I think that it gave me a really good groundwork, like level of, what do we do? How do we do it? And then I think the creativity is really fun because you don't get that necessarily with the corporate
side of things, yeah.
So to kind of make things come to life visually is so much more impactful in my mind, and so I just love that.
Yeah.
Part of it.
What's the most unexpected skill that you've learned as a wedding planner or through your resume of things that you've done?
We joke that there's nothing like we don't do. I would say I
can attest to that.
Yeah. Let's see. We have often become really great at cleaning bathrooms.
Oh, wow.
So I would say like facilities management is something that we've really become great at.
For sure.
No, but what I really love about there's a lot of things I love about what we do, but I think one of the cool things is the relationships we build with our clients. And I think that you work together so closely for so long, the clients really start to build a relationship with us and trust our opinions and know that we've walked this path so many times before. So they really lean on us emotionally sometimes. And, I think weddings are amazing, but they also bring out some weird family dynamics and personal, things, or even some traumas sometimes from things. And so we've often, helped like on a therapeutic side of like trying to figure out family dynamics, guide emotions. And obviously we are not mental health professionals in any way, but we do see a lot of that.
Yeah.
So and I hate that clients have to go through that, but we also love that they trust us enough to ask for our
Yeah.
guidance.
I mean, a wedding is like one of the most intimate days of your life. You're sharing so much with so many people, but you also, it can be a little bit isolating planning it all. So like having you guys is, I can speak from experience, just an absolute lifesaver.
Yeah. And it's like, it's kind of nice when you have, when it's you and your fiance and your families, opinions can be really strong. People can be very steadfast in like how they want things to go or think they should go. And sometimes to have like that third party that's looking at it a little bit more like 360 it's kind of nice.
And to just have somebody that's a little bit more removed from the situation that can kind of give things like a little bit of a non-biased
So
opinion.
we've often intervened in when asked and helped like guide conversations with family, or if there's, unfortunately, there might be tricky family dynamics that maybe we have to take it off the couple.
Yeah.
Not be the bad guy, but kind of like have it land on us so that it doesn't have to be additional pressure or, emotional
It's a nice little good cop, bad cop situation.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely.
Do you guys have like a favorite type of couple that you like to work with? If you're looking at couples, is there like a framework that you look for when signing somebody on?
It's really hard. I mean, I think that we work with so many different kinds of people, but I think one of the common traits is that our couples like to have fun. They don't take themselves too seriously. I think that, they do value family. They value, like, at the end of the day, they're not getting lost in all of the hype and the detail, and they're remembering what's actually happening.
The
they're
community
getting married
around them,
It's the best, you're getting married to the person you love most in this world. How often are you surrounded by that many people that you love and adore? There's not many times where that happens in your life. So I think we love working with people that focus on those things and don't get lost in the craziness and the fire alarms of wedding planning. That's why you hire us, to kind of take that off your plate, focus on the beauty of it and the joy of it. But I think, we also want to work with people that trust us, right? They're working with us for a reason.
They're hovering over you.
They're hiring a planner to really, have that guidance and feel like they're being taken care of and guided in the right direction. And so we obviously want to work with people that trust our expertise as well. But I think at the end of the day, it's really important to work with someone that likes to have fun, doesn't take it too seriously.
Someone that you get along with.
I mean, we almost become that family. Like,
for sure.
We always joke that at the wedding day is obviously the best day of the client's life, but it's a sad day for us in a sense, because it's like, we're breaking up. Like, this is it. We've like worked so hard for 12 to 18 months on something that is so special and amazing, and it's like, we're not gonna have our weekly meetings anymore.
No, I know.
So we're often like grabbing dinner, coffee, drinks, because it's like we've gotten to know them so well, and then it's like, boop,
it's like a hard stop, which is weird.
So we always joke they're also available for bridal showers, baby showers,
all the things,
all the the legacy events that keep going. We miss you guys.
I know. We'll need that, honestly. We'll need all those things, so you won't get rid of me that easily. I'm curious, creating the event planning company, what did that look like for you? What was like was there like a moment where you're like, all right, I'm going to like really like do this and pursue this and like pour my all into it?
I think through my wedding planning, I didn't necessarily know I wanted to start my own business, but I think, when we started to get really closer to our wedding happening, and then afterwards, and, everyone is obviously really nice after your wedding, and they're obviously always giving compliments and stuff, but it was really cool to see people actually giving feedback like, hey, like, I think you might be really good at this. And I think, they knew that I had a passion for events and in that world of marketing and creative business. And so, but they also knew, like, I wanted to be able to balance work life and, make my own schedule and be present for my family and have children. And so I think they knew that, like, this might be a calling that I was being led to. So then I went into a period where it was also really natural because a lot of my friends started getting married. And so I had a lot of opportunity to be like, hey, do you need help? Like,
let me throw my hat in the ring.
So I there were a couple of years where I just didn't say no to anything. I put myself out there. I helped friends. I helped other creatives and professionals. I joined a couple of local event industry organizations where we would meet monthly and talk about different topics, and that would lend itself really well to me introducing myself, which is really hard to do. I would say I'm an extroverted introvert, so like putting myself out there and networking is not necessarily always the easiest thing in the world. But I knew I kind of had to do that to meet people and put my name out there. And I just volunteered to help out as an assistant on anything I could, whether it was like a styled shoot, like an editorial photo shoot, or, you know, being another wedding planner's assistant or something. I was just like craving opportunity to learn.
Just get your foot in the door.
Yeah, and it wasn't just even planners. I wanted to learn. I helped a florist. I helped, you know, photographers. It was just kind of learning what everyone in the event industry would do so that I could feel like I
understood it and
exactly,
grasped it.
yeah. So, and then that really helped me also build the confidence to be like, I know I can do this. I can put this business together. I've watched my family do things similarly and put themselves out there and take a risk. And what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't, you know, we just move on to another chapter in my life. But it was something that I worked really hard doing, and I built my own website myself.
Couldn't be me.
I just like, you know, I just did everything myself at the beginning, and I was like, I worked by myself for a really long time, part-time, because I still had my full-time job, which was a side hustle that I was just trying to see if it would work, and it did, and I was so lucky and fortunate to say, like, I could walk away from my full-time job and
so cool.
do this full-time, and, you know, there are people that opened their hearts and minds to having me help at the beginning that are still some of the most amazing people in my life, because I know that they took a chance on letting me help, and I could have ruined it all. I mean, they didn't know, but so it's something the journey has been really fun. It's been hard and
for sure.
not easy, especially trying to manage being a parent at the same time. But it's really important to me to have something that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
And, our team has grown, our clients are incredible. And, I think at the end of the day, to be a small part of one of the happiest days of their life, there's no better.
Yeah, you can pat yourself on the back at night for sure.
It's fun, yeah. I mean, you get to see people literally in the happiest moments of their life, and it means a lot for us to be part of that.
Yeah, I feel like, too, a lot of people will see, like, a wedding planner and be like, oh, I want to do that. Like, I love to throw parties. I love to... It seems like this glamorous... thing.
Yeah.
What are some of the realities of it? You talked earlier about
facilities management.
Facilities management of it all. There are other realities that aren't as glamorous, though, that you kind of have to take with the good with the bad.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I think that we, when we're on an event day, and we just have to roll up our sleeves and get to work. Like, we can't necessarily wait for someone else to do something when a client is expecting a certain level of service. Our clients, we want to bring our A game, and it's really important for us to make sure they're getting that. So we feel very strongly in bringing a team together that is the best of the best. So other vendors that will contribute to your day, but sometimes for one reason or another, we have to pitch in and help in other ways. So yeah, cleaning bathrooms, helping with even sometimes like back of house issues, like if there was something that just was miscommunicated or misunderstood, like just jumping in and trying to solve something really quickly.
Yeah. Problem solving is a big part of the job.
Contingency planning, problem solving, weather management is,
Etsy witches.
Etsy witches are a big thing this season. Yeah. And we have one in particular that has a 100% success rate. So
we'll be using her for sure.
But yeah, there's just so much that's involved. It is not the glamorous life that maybe J-Lo portrayed in the movie.
Yeah.
It's really fun and it's really special, and we do a lot of really cool things, but there's also a lot of things that are not so fun.
Yeah.
So it's not, we're willing to do it and we will do whatever it takes. So we don't even hesitate, but yeah, cleaning bathrooms, getting paper towels stocked in the bathrooms, cleaning up after a wedding, breaking down, even setting up can be treacherous, calling town hall for electrical pole permits, and like from mental health counseling all the way through engineering and electrical.
You're wearing many hats.
Yeah,
doing
all the
things.
Again, like I never knew I would have to know like the wattage of certain types of light bulbs and how many circuits to pull, but it's all part of the job, and so it's great.
What is when do you tell somebody that they need a wedding planner? Like if somebody comes to you and is like, hey, this is my wedding, do you think I need a wedding planner? When do you say somebody does, and when do you ever say somebody doesn't?
I mean, I really truly think everyone needs a wedding planner.
Yeah.
I think that there's different degrees of how much work that person needs to help you with. I think ideally it's great to start with a planner from scratch. So from, you get engaged and you reach out to a planner and they can help you find your venue and find the venue that's good for you guys. I think that if you're open and really interested in doing something that's at a private home, a private property, and maybe there's tenting involved, you absolutely need to get a planner involved from the very beginning, because you're essentially building a wedding venue, right? And so it's really important to hire someone that knows what they're talking about and can really help you with the nitty-gritty of electrical poles and dig safe and all of the different things it takes to putting up the tent, and then you have to bring all of the inventory into the tent and design it. So there's just so many pieces to that. I would say 98% of our clients hire us at the very beginning, and then some will get their venue and then hire the planner. But we do specialize in, tented weddings, so a lot of times we're very much involved in the due diligence of finding the property or finding the right place.
And you guys have the connections to find places that, we might not necessarily think of. Like I didn't even know my venue was a venue until you guys brought it to me. So it's like...
It's not really a venue, is it?
Technically. Yeah. No, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
Still, but it's like special. You guys have the networking and the ability to do something that I wouldn't have been able to do on my own, which is cool.
Yeah, I think it's... So there's obviously, you can have a wedding at your own home or a family's home, a friend's home, but there's a lot of private properties that are kind of off the grid on purpose. They don't want to necessarily become a factory that brings weddings in every weekend. There might even be town regulations on how many events they can host a year. Yeah. There's some towns that do put that into place in terms of like licensing. And so, it's a little bit more word of mouth in terms of what's available. And there's another role, a real estate agent. We never knew we'd have to, but it's like working with property owners to see what they're comfortable with, and respecting the fact that it might still be a house for a family that they're renting it out. And so we want to make sure that they're feeling like their property is being protected while also having the client's goals and dreams at the forefront of our minds too. So it's a balance act. I think that one of the common misconceptions in our industry is that if you're planning a wedding at a venue and it has a coordinator or it has a catering manager, an event manager, that you don't necessarily need a planner. Yeah. I would say that is not true. So I think that what I always tell people is we could not do weddings without those people and those roles. They know the venue like the back of their hand. They are experts in the execution and the technical side of how things happen at that space. A lot of times they're also an integral part of the catering, so food service, back of house operation, but they're not necessarily coming into the weekend thinking about it from a design perspective or even a client or guest experience from welcome party through farewell brunch. Yeah. We come into it as a planner looking at that 360-degree experience, and we're helping also build your timeline from hair and makeup or from the very beginning of the day all the way through the after party, and that's not necessarily part of the venue's scope. So, we, I like to think that we come in and we come together as one united team, and we take our areas of specialty, but I don't think we replace each other necessarily.
You complement each other more than replace each other. I have a couple questions about like weddings in general from your expertise for people that might be listening, that might be planning their wedding. What do you think is one thing that couples usually stress a lot about that they shouldn't? And what do you think is something that couples don't stress about that you think that they should?
Ooh, interesting. I think one of the biggest things that we see from a stress perspective is definitely timing and probably money, the budget. I think that we're seeing shorter and shorter timelines, which is, I don't know if it's generationally, I don't know what's going on, but people are coming to us with much shorter planning timelines.
Like, I got engaged, I want to get married in 6 months.
Exactly, which I do think is probably generational. But I think that I always say that, like, let's do it. I think that it allows us to get to work faster and more efficiently. It doesn't allow for, dilly-dallying, as my mom would say. Like, we just have to get to work, and it makes for a much more efficient process. Yeah. I think the challenge of getting married in New England specifically is that we have some great venues, but the inventory is just not as big as other areas of the country where there's just, like, a vast amount of venues. Yeah. when we look at places like Cape Cod or Rhode Island or even Nantucket, I mean, there's obviously just so much square mileage, and it's just a very limited, but it's also a very popular destination for weddings. So it can be very challenging, especially to break out of that mold and be creative about maybe hosting at an event, a venue that may not be something people see often and be a little bit more unique.
Totally.
I think from a budget standpoint, weddings are not an inexpensive venture, right?
For sure.
I think it's sometimes people know that they're expensive, but then once you get into the planning, people are like, wow, I knew it was going to be expensive, but I didn't know it was going to be this expensive.
The eyes leave your head for a moment. Yeah.
And it's really funny because a lot of our clients are maybe the oldest or the first time getting married in the family after, their parents, which was 30, 40, 20 years ago. And I mean, to be honest with you, things have changed dramatically even since the pandemic. So it's from a pricing with shipping and tariffs and all of that stuff with imported florals. So, I mean, it changes every year.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had to reteach ourselves about pricing. But I think working with a planner or working with a team it doesn't have to be scary.
Yeah.
I think for us, it's like, obviously, a lot of things about budgets and money can cause people anxiety in many different ways, and I totally get it. But I think if we start that communication early and just maintain consistent communication about where we're at, where we're spending, and also thinking creatively about, okay, if we're spending a little bit more in the band area, how can we cut back in another area maybe that doesn't mean as much to you guys and is not as big of a priority? So I'm a huge proponent of being creative about your spend and
it's
prioritizing.
like a high-low situation with your outfit.
Exactly. Like there's nothing wrong with pairing Amazon with a designer, right? And that's kind of exactly how we think about it for the wedding. I mean, I think that not everything is going to be as important to the same couple.
Yeah.
So we want to take that and from the very beginning prioritize what's the most important piece of the experience for you and your guests, and then when we're helping you build the budget, kind of putting that into the budget and putting that into perspective when we're building, quotes or when we're building prospective spends and things like that, because we want to be mindful of that. And I think also just maintaining the dialogue about the budget consistently will help so that it kind of takes the stress away and just makes it a little bit more digestible and you just know more.
And I feel like it makes the conversation a little bit more open.
Absolutely.
Where it's like money is such a taboo topic anyways.
Yes.
So like we're not used to talking about it in that way. So when we do talk about it, when we're planning this type of an event, I can't speak apparently. It just makes it more open and more the communication is easier to like talk about because it is a big chunk of change.
It is, and I think it's like at the end, I'm also a realist. It's one day.
Yeah.
And I also see what's happening around in the world, and I see couples trying to save for their first house and then spend a wedding, and it's like I see people trying to, and that's. I'm like, oh, that's sad at the end of the day. But I think there's ways to still make your dream come to life, but just being mindful of the spend, being wise about it, thinking creatively, like I said, about how can we repurpose things, how can we, move florals around, or how can we, sometimes it's even less expensive to purchase things outright than it is to rent. And so we're just always kind of thinking about that. And so I definitely think that budget is something that we see one of the bigger stressors on, but it's how we handle it is how you can kind of work through it.
Yeah.
And then I think in terms of the end of your question, I don't know, that's a good one. I mean, I think that people should maybe consider like head count a little bit more. I think that it shouldn't be something you should stress out about, but I think that sometimes people are like, 5 years from now, after your wedding, are you going to be like, why did I invite those people?
Yeah.
Or like, why, like having your circle and making sure it feels really special. And that's not to say you can't have a 400-person wedding. If that's what you want, go ahead and do it. That's amazing. But that it impacts the budget. It impacts other things. So it's like, consider all those things when you're putting it into perspective, because
that's such a good point.
You don't want to have any regrets either.
Totally.
And you shouldn't have a regret if you invited someone, because at the moment in time that they were special to you in some way, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But just put some thought behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I truly come to the wedding planning process, and maybe I'm an outlier in this, but I just don't think it has to be stressful. It shouldn't be stressful. I think it should be fun and memorable and enjoyable. And if you're working with the right team, you shouldn't have stress.
100%.
I'm not a 5-alarm fire type of wedding planner that runs around with a headset and a clipboard.
No, you're very chill, which I need because I'm the one that's running around.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. Like, a lot of our clients are like very type A and very organized. And it's not that we're not type A, but I think that we just see it. And we have to check ourselves sometimes too, because I think we get numb to it. But I think we also need to, it doesn't have to be stressful. If you do things in the right way, in a methodical time, like if we go, at a
step by step, process by process.
Step by step, at a good cadence, it doesn't need to be stressful. And it shouldn't be stressful for us because, we do this day in and day out. We know it works. We know it doesn't. And we also want to keep the passion alive for what we do. And so I always say that, like, we don't take on a million weddings a season either. We want to be really, thoughtful about the clients we take on because we love what we do every single day. And I don't ever want to feel like burnt out about that. So just as obviously the client is always number one, and we don't want them stressed. We want them to enjoy it. We also selfishly kind of want that too, because we love what we do. We love being part of these events for clients and couples, and we just want to keep on top of it and feel excited every day. So if not, then we feel the burn too. Yeah,
I get that. If you had to build kind of like a dream team of vendors that you think is important to every wedding, like you're starting 5. What would that look like for somebody that's question. Like, okay, if I have 5 things that I'm going to invest my money in, I want to do these 5 things?
Yeah. I definitely think the photography is, and it's funny, videography is something that often gets cut, but what I try to tell my clients is that the visual moments of your wedding are really the only thing that's going to last to tell the story of your day. So 20 years from now, 10 years from now, if you have children one day, like, what are you going to show them is your photo and your video. Yeah. So really investing in a team that feels timeless and classic, nothing too trendy in terms of editing. Of course, if that's what you love, that's fine. But I also have seen clients regret just the style of photography, because it also can kind of ebb and flow with what's trendy. Yeah. But really taking that investment and feeling really good about it. It's really important, because again, that's the heirloom that's gonna to be
stand the test of time.
Exactly. And to that point, I also think that having a planner is obviously, I think, integral in terms of having a successful wedding day, and having the connection between your planner and the client is so important. Outside of the planner, I think your connection with your photographer is just as important.
For sure.
Because they're the ones that on the wedding day are going to be kind of directing you like a movie.
You're spending a lot of time
and you're spending a lot of time with them.
Wedding,
they often are putting you intimately close together and having you kiss and hug, and they also are the ones that can tell your crazy aunt to get out of the frame if they're around with their professional camera.
Exactly.
And
you need to have a drill sergeant.
You need to have someone that's really confident and also kind of fast and efficient, but know they're doing a good job, because we also don't want to waste time we want you to get to your cocktail hour. We want you to, the other day I remember your fiance Aaron was like, I don't want to miss my cocktail hour. And that's important, right?
Totally.
You want to be part of those events, because it's that's kind of the beauty of your day, is seeing everyone that you love enjoying themselves and kind of watching that. It's so special.
That's what I'm so excited for.
So I think photography and video I kind of treat them, one in one. If I'm not involved in that, the planner is obviously part of that 5. I think that the music and the entertainment is huge. Yeah. It can kind of make or break an event if it's not a great
We've all been to a wedding where the band or the DJ just didn't hit the room right.
So I think that's really important, and I think that tends to be a pretty large expense, especially going for live entertainment. But I think there's also, when you're looking at the budget, there's ways to still have moments of live music if you can't afford the full 10-piece band. Yeah. And there's also incredible DJs that you don't even.
Oh my God, I've been to weddings where the DJ, their DJ was 10 times better than a wedding band too.
At the end of the day, a band, they're people, right? Yeah. And if they're having an off day, but we don't see that a lot, but there's pros and cons to
For
each.
sure.
And so I think having the experience there is really important, because that's kind of going to, they're also most of the time the MC of the event. They're kind of getting the crowd going. They're speaking to the crowd. You don't want someone that's overpowering or too much.
Too much personality.
Yeah, that has that balance and remembers it's not their day, it's your day.
Yeah.
So that's really important. I also think that, in terms of the design aspect, like flowers and, they're so beautiful, and they can really enhance a space. There's so much you can do with flowers. But I also think, like, thinking creatively, when you're thinking about the expense, obviously they can also be a large expense, but there's so many things you can do with them and make high impact in
For
some
sure.
areas, and then maybe creatively think about others where maybe you can save a little. I also think it's really cool because a lot of our clients now are like donating flowers at the after events to nonprofits, nursing homes, hospice centers. So you can kind of like keep the flowers going a little bit longer, and I think that's really cool. It's like paying
special.
it forward.
Yeah, I love that idea.
I've seen patients and clients in some of those residences just like beam when they see the flowers. Like, it just means so much to
that's
them.
so
So it's really
cute.
cool
I
to
love
see that kind of give back. But then obviously making sure, you need to have a venue that's capable of hosting, right? So whether it's an established venue like a hotel or a wedding facility, a venue, or a private property, you just really want to make sure you do your due diligence to make sure it can handle it. It has the infrastructure. I mean, there are some houses that are absolutely amazing, or private properties, but when you start to think about things like parking and noise and all of those things, you have to put those into consideration. And if it can't really house that,
it's not usually going to be worth it.
yeah, you have to kind of think that through. So what is that, 4?
Yeah, well, that's 5, including the wedding planner.
Oh, then 5.
And I think that those are 5 of my most important things that
Awesome.
we've talked
Love it.
about.
Yeah.
What's in your? I know that every planner has like a wedding day emergency kit.
Ooh, yes.
What is in your wedding day emergency kit that you think everybody needs to have on property?
Okay, that's a good question. Our kit, so I have literally, it's like I got it at Home Depot. It is a rolling toolkit that
It's for real.
should be in like a truck.
Yeah.
On a
It has all the necessities in it.
in a yard somewhere. So we have all the normal things you'd think of, like safety pins, bobby pins. We have sewing kits. I have flashlights. I have like an actual toolkit, hammer, nail gun,
just in
nails.
case you have to secure the tent, to secure the
Gorilla
building.
Glue. And then we have like personal necessities, like Tylenol, Advil, Tums, just all the things.
Any and everything.
Female products. You just never know. It's the eye drops. Sometimes people come in a little hazy from a rowdy welcome party,
For
and we
sure.
need to kind of hide that. We've had to, not necessarily in my toolkit, but like quick dialing of like an IV service to come in. Like we're kind of ready to
go for anything.
go with anything that is being thrown at us.
Yeah,
So,
you have to have an emergency kit because things pop up.
Literally, you
everywhere.
just never know what you're going to need. It could be like tape, like double-sided tape. We could be using to like adhere something to the wall, or fixing someone's dress.
Yeah.
Like and it has multiple purposes.
It does.
So.
Let's talk about my wedding a little bit, but not share too much.
Okay.
Or our wedding. I always say my wedding. Do you find that people say that a lot? Like I'm technically the bride, I would say.
Yeah.
The brides will always say my
Aaron's
wedding.
part of the day,
yeah,
too,
he's
but-
100% a part of the day.
Yeah.
But really, it's been.
We
you
do
know.
joke that sometimes the groom will show up and it's like his surprise party because they're so. And it's amazing because we do have some grooms that are so involved.
Yeah.
And then there's others that are literally like,
Whatever
Hi,
she
I'm
wants.
Kate. I'm your wedding planner. I've been
No,
working
literally.
with
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Have you ever met somebody like on the day of the wedding?
100%. Yeah. 100%.
I love that.
And it's so funny because we work so closely with their fiance.
Yeah.
And like maybe the mother of the bride or the mother of the groom or whoever it is. And we're so close to them. And we feel like we know the other partner, but
Not physically met them yet.
Yeah.
What's been, without giving too much away, what's like one detail you're excited for our guests to see at the wedding?
I think that your venue is really special.
Yeah.
I think that it's kind of a hidden gem. It's something that I don't think a lot of people are going to have seen before.
Yeah.
If at all. And I think that it's is kind of off the beaten path, but really special in terms of view, intimacy. I think it's one of the things that you guys said is, you know, even with your head count, you want it to feel intimate and inviting and warm. And I think you couldn't have chosen a better venue
honestly,
for that.
You guys hit it out of the park with that.
So I think that that's going to be really cool and special. And I think just, you know, other than that, just making you guys feel like you're coming through in that day in other ways, like in the design and you know, we want people to walk into that space and just be like, this could not be any more Hayden and Aaron if we tried.
Those are always the best weddings that I've been to, when they're like such a reflection of the couple.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be, like I always say, it does not have to be this crazy installation or huge moment. It could be something really thoughtfully like woven into the day in like a small way that maybe like 30% of your guests will pick up on, but like, you know, is there. And like, and you know, like we were talking about the natural surroundings of your venue are beautiful, like, and the gardens and some of the you know, the tree species and all of these things are really beautiful. So when we went for our site visit recently, Jill at Beach Plum Floral, who's doing your florals, and I and our whole group, we were just talking about how we could incorporate like a lot of the native plants and greens that we're seeing growing wild, but into the day. And like, I don't know if anyone else like
wouldn't necessarily pick up on that.
If your childhood friend is going to notice that, but like some people will, and it's going to be really cool. So, you know, there's a lot of cool pear trees on the property. So we're like, how cool would it be to incorporate some fruit and some pears?
Yeah,
and
I'm excited to see that,
you know,
and to see if people pick up on it.
So like, it's little things like that that I think honestly like add up to be like, it was so thoughtful and genuine. And I think that's, at the end of the day, we really strive to make sure we're really intentional about every decision that we kind of put in front of the client.
Has planning with us been like harder, more entertaining than a normal client, would you say? Like, because a lot of people will say, like, you know, there are planners that probably wouldn't want to work with a creator or an influencer because they can be a little bit much or expect a little bit.
About?
Never. But what has planning been like with us?
So I think you are very organized. You're a very organized person. So sometimes your email, you have like very detailed emails.
I do.
So I get
apologize.
them like, oh, no, not in a bad way at all. So I'm like, wow, like this is awesome. So you're just very organized, which is, I appreciate a lot. It's great. You know, when you hire a planner, I think the idea is that you're hoping that planner is organized for you, but it's kind of fun when the client is also organized because you guys can like feed off of each other.
Things can be more streamlined.
But it's been so fun. I always joke though that I think people, when they meet Hayden in person, it's like not what you necessarily see. Over the top. Like you're actually kind of quiet and subdued, and so it's kind of funny.
That's why I related to like your earlier comment where you're like an extroverted introvert. That's a totally like, 'cause it's so
I know
easy
how to turn it on.
It's so easy to do it behind the screen, but then in person I'm always like, hi.
Like if you're like, oh, you're going to a networking event tonight, I'm like, oh my god.
No, right?
I like crawl into a hole. I'm like, no, thank you. And I know like, and it's not. People probably think I have like RBF, but it's like I'm more just like shy.
It's also like social battery stuff. It's like I only have so much in me that like I need to like be recharged.
You're essentially like an actor. You're like acting all like in the sense that like when you're doing these videos, you're kind of like turning into a different,
putting on something, and
it's you just kind of want to decompress.
Totally.
And, so I think it's been fun and we've known each other before this, but I think it's kind of been fun to be like, you're a real person. Like you're not just a content creator, and I think too, trying to make it feel genuine and not just for Instagram. I think it's
exactly.
Like, it's at the end of the day, this is your wedding, and this is the most important day of your life.
For sure.
It's about you and Aaron, and I think it's been really cool because I think it wouldn't always be like that for everybody. Like, I think you're not losing sight of what's important.
There will be Instagrammable moments.
Oh, 100%. Sure. We are not losing
the content will be contenting.
But I think that you're also remembering, like, why this is even happening, which is really special.
I want to do a couple of rapid fire questions really quick before we run out of time. Who is a dream? I think I have a guess on who this is going to be. Dream celebrity wedding you'd want to plan?
Well, I think everyone's been asking about Taylor Swift lately.
Yeah.
I'm from Westerly, Rhode Island, where Taylor has her summer house. So I think that would be really cool.
What do you think she's going to do for her wedding? Like if you had to like put like a theme on her wedding.
Oh, theme?
Like what would you think her theme will be?
Well, I do imagine it being very romantic and not fairy tale like in a corny way, but just kind of like modeling
Like
after
enchanting.
her enchanting folklore.
Yeah.
Like very. I mean, I think she's a storyteller, and she's one of the best storytellers ever, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's not going to stop when it comes to putting on her wedding day. I think that she strikes me, I don't know her, but she strikes me as someone, though, that is very genuine in those moments and is not going to want to do it for show, but I think it's going to be very intentional and thoughtful in all of her decisions. I think that, I don't know, I hope I'm proven wrong, but I just don't know if the Rhode Island wedding is going to come true.
Pan out, yeah.
I don't know, I don't know.
I don't know if it has, because if it was at her house, it couldn't be at her house.
I just feel like there's not enough privacy.
Yeah.
I think from the street, it looks very private, but once you get onto East Beach, which is right there, and any boaters, it is like completely open.
Oh, the boaters would be parked out there.
Oh, it would be
completely.
a flotilla.
Yeah.
Huge, yeah. So I think that it would be hard, and it's also just a really small, quaint little town that I don't know has the infrastructure
to support that.
From accommodations and lodging and all, like, everything that it takes to put on the wedding.
Yeah.
It's not just the day itself.
Yeah.
Like, so, again, I hope it happens. I just don't know.
It would be cool.
It would be a very complex. It's going to be very complex no matter where it is, obviously, given her celebrity status.
Yeah.
And the nature of who's wanting to get in on that.
Oh, big time.
I see it more at like a private estate and like her, like in the rolling hills of like Pennsylvania or something where she's originally from, where she can have like a lot of privacy.
Yeah.
Complete secrecy.
Full security breakdowns.
Yeah. So I don't know. But I mean, Taylor, call if you're looking for a planner in Rhode Island. And then Hayden can do some content creation.
Exactly. Yeah. I would love that.
I did invite her to my wedding.
You did?
Yeah, because I got married right across the street.
Oh my God.
And she had just moved in, and I was like, weird things have happened.
Did you just leave something in her inbox?
I sent her an invitation. I never heard back, obviously, but she was just so great when she first moved into the town to like getting involved with the community, and I was like, celebrities have done weird things like that
for
before.
sure.
Let's just throw her
I've seen them perform at weddings before.
So nothing
she
happened.
Sings Love
but
Story
it's okay.
at your wedding. That would be iconic.
I know. Oh my gosh,
what is the most? Speaking of a iconic song, what is the most underrated wedding song that you think like every time you hear it when you're planning a wedding? Like it gets people on the dance floor that you're like,
oh, so like a
song that really gets people out there on the dance floor.
I can tell you what's overplayed.
What is? Tell me. Anything Bruno Mars, probably.
Bruno Mars, yes. He's really starting to. A lot of times, a band or a DJ will have a do not playlist.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of Bruno Mars.
Okay.
I think people are just kind of getting a little sick.
That's probably will be on our
I used to love
playlist.
September.
Oh yeah.
I cannot hear that song anymore, especially for our September couples.
No,
I get it. I love it, but I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's the weekend we're getting married.
Exactly. And you have to, right?
You have to.
And I've had couples that literally get married on that day.
Yeah.
Like, we can't not play it. And I totally get it. But it's like, I go to a wedding almost every weekend, so I'm like, the same
Here we
songs
go.
are over and over. Or like, You Are the Best Thing by Ray LaMontagne is like one of the top like first dance songs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of like an old soul, so I love like the music that gets all the generations up, and you can kind of see like your grandma and your best friend and like your sorority sister all up on the dance floor because it's just so fun.
Yeah, recently it's been Pink Pony Club at the weddings I've been to. Like every wedding,
people go crazy.
People are going crazy.
I think
over
it's
Pink
hilarious
Pony
when I
Club.
see like the flower girl who is like reciting every word of that song. I'm like, do you know what that song is?
Yeah, this song is about a stripper.
Yeah, which I love. I'm like, good for you, girl. You go, girl. But,
what do you think? Really quick. What's the food or drink that always gets devoured at a wedding?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so lamb lollipops.
Oh.
At cocktail hour, but they are the hardest and messiest thing to eat. So I'm not gonna lie, like I get it, but it's not. I always tell my clients like think about the one or the two biters, not you kind of
things that are gonna be multiple pieces. Yeah. Oh, that's tough.
And think about the ladies in the nice dresses, and if the men are wearing tuxes,
the
so
dips
it's a little
and
messy.
stuff.
Yeah. A bacon wrapped scallop.
Oh, I love a bacon wrapped scallop.
People will hunt those servers down.
I do.
For those. Yeah. They'll like wait at the
No, that's what I do at
tent.
weddings. I stand by the exit. I figure out where the nearest food is coming from, and I stand by that point so that I get every single fast out. It's a necessity.
But being in New England natively, raw bars are a thing here.
Yeah.
So you can't go far without like a fresh oyster. Those are usually a huge hit.
Yeah.
But it's funny because when we do a wedding not in New England or with a lot of families or friends that are not from New England, you can totally see
the differences.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty big as well. Yeah, I mean, you can't go. I mean, honestly, the people that you can see get excited about food are also when you think a little bit untraditionally about the food.
Yeah.
So maybe not, like, it's totally fine to do a 3-course meal, traditional cocktail hour, but like having some fun stuff. Like we had a hot dog truck at a wedding this summer.
Love it.
Having like, we've done like pizza truck, like food trucks are really cool if you want to do them either for the main course or even like late night, doing something cool. You know, getting the local flavor of food involved is really fun, depending on where you're getting married. So, you know, getting married in Rhode Island's known for a lot of fun things. So, like coffee milkshakes and Dell's lemonade, like little
I've
things
seen
like that
before,
are really cool. And people love it because it's like, it's an interactive experience too, and it's kind of like a dialogue starter.
Oh my God, so many good wedding tips from you. I feel like I've already gotten like inspired for like what we're gonna work on together.
It's gonna be so fun.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Where can everybody follow you that is listening and see all of your content and see all of the beauty from the weddings you put together?
Yeah, we're Instagram is where we post a lot of our behind the scenes stuff, and then pictures and photos and videos from all of the amazing events that we've been able to produce. So Instagram, it's my name, just at Kate Murtaugh, Murtaugh, and then our website. So yeah, KateMurtaughEvents.com.
Oh my God, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and thank you for dealing with all my crazy. And I can't wait.
You're not crazy at all.
I'm sure you've heard some crazier situations go on, but I'm pretty much up there.
We've seen a lot.
Oh yeah, big time. I can't wait for you guys to all see the content that Kate and her team and all the vendors that we're working with put together. I will make sure to tag Kate in the description of the episode. You guys can like and subscribe to the podcast everywhere podcasts are available. Thank you so much again for joining me.
We're so excited to be part.
And I can't just wait for our wedding day. It's going to be so fun.
A year.
I know. Here we go, guys. I got to get back to work. All right. See you guys next week.
Thank you.